everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Avon Van Hassel. I'm a self-published author and I'm here every Wednesday. Sometimes I give you tips and tricks for things to try in your writing, which is what I was doing for the majority of my previous videos, but as of last week, I think I've decided to take a less niche approach to these videos and kind of explore some other topics just to see what I like and what you guys like, if there's something that you like better than the writing advice. I think last week was just a general update on some things. I have some new ideas coming up that aren't so heavy on the writing coaching, I guess. A lot of things to do with history and culture and storytelling and real life interesting stories. Also, I've become an ambassador for a couple of companies now, so I'm thinking about spotlighting some brands whose message and work I care about, as well as talking about some more of my issues outside of just writing, because there are a lot of social and global issues that I'm concerned about, and I think that hi baby, hi, there are a lot of interesting conversations to be had about those things. Cassie's very chatty today, so there might be a bit of that while I'm trying to talk. Consistency and a lot of discipline and that sort of thing, but it is also a creative process, and for a lot of us it's our job. So there are a lot of, you go through rituals going to work every day, right? Some people have to have their coffee, some people have to journal, some people there are things you have to do before you're ready for your day, and there are things you have to do to be ready for specific tasks throughout your day, and I think writing is similar to that. But there are a lot of people who are like, okay, well, I need these conditions to be just perfect in order to be creative. Like I said, there's a lot of debate on whether or not that's a real thing or if it's just a trap that some of us fall into because I know, I'm trying to be nice, or whether we're just insecure and these are sort of emotional touchstones to make us feel a bit more confident in our ability. Even if you don't expect your work to be read by other people, sometimes just the act of bearing enough of your soul to put something creative out into the world, even if no one else is going to see it, does sometimes take a little extra oomph. You need a little bit of magic to make it happen. And there's nothing wrong with that. Writing rituals are a lot of fun, and a lot of very famous authors have them and did fine. So I'm going to jump into them. I'm going to talk about my own personal writing rituals and also some writing rituals that I've heard about relating to other authors. So the first one is comfort. Now, for me, I have a specific chair. This is my furry pink Papa-san chair that I write in. I write here because I used to write at my desk. I actually edit at my desk still. I used to write at my desk, but where the desktop is, where I put my laptop, it's a little bit high for where my elbows are. So it's kind of high for my elbows, but also too low for my knees. It's in a weird position. So it kind of I always have the urge to lean over, but it's a very old desk and I'm afraid of leaning on the flap too long because I don't want it to break. So, and then I was writing in my bed for a while, but my doctor thought that was contributing to my insomnia, so she was like, you need to have a dedicated writing space. So it took me forever to find a chair that I liked, but now I have this beautiful Papa-san chair, and I love it because I can sit forward like this, and with my laptop, or usually my tablet is what I actually write on. I usually edit on my tablet, but I edit on my laptop, and I write on my tablet, which is a system that I will explain someday when I get into Scrivener. I also like that I can sit cross-legged in it. I like that I can curl up in it. I've fallen asleep in it more times than I can count. So I feel like it's nice, it's comfortable, it's in direct line of the window. There's my window. And it's a nice place. It's between, I have like a little station over here that has my, like my coffee and my Echo Dot. And over here is my closet. You don't get to see it because it's a mess. But it's a nicely positioned chair. And also there's like, right there is the fan. So when it's really freaking hot, I can sit here and it's like the coolest spot in my room. So, this is very, very comfortable, very great chair. So I suggest having a nice, comfortable place to sit and write where you can be comfortable for a long period of time while you're letting the creative juices flow. A lot of people like a blanket to get cozy. I like this blanket because it looks like the ocean, but I don't really use it right now because it's the summer. But in the winter, I do have kind of a Sherpa blanket. It's kind of like, it feels like sheepskin on one side and like long shag, soft shag on the other side. So I like to curl up and write and be nice and comfy. A lot of people, including me, like to have a beverage. My beverage of choice is always and forever tea, but coffee does get me going in the morning. A lot of people like music. Quite a lot of writers, including myself, have like dedicated playlists. And they might have playlists for specific characters or specific moods that they want while they're writing a certain scene. I tend to have a playlist related to like the vibe of specific books. So I will have like the same 50 songs or whatever on a loop the whole time I'm writing that book. And then a lot of us like to have a pet. Sometimes your pet won't stop screaming while you're trying to record a video, and that's a little annoying, but you know, sometimes she's good too. So it's nice to have a little companion who isn't going to be, you know, talking while you're trying to think and distracting you with people words. The second thing is routine. If you're like me, structure is really important to keeping you tethered. And I find routine to actually be the most conducive to sort of getting the muse to show up on time, if you know what I mean. I have a friend who, until recently, I used to meet with at 6 a.m. every weekday morning. It would be 9 a.m. her time, 6 a.m. my time. And we'd get up and we'd write for an hour. And then as soon as that hour was up, I would feed the cats and move on with my day. And it would ensure that I would get an hour of writing done every single day. And it was just really good to have that hour dedicated to that and nothing else. And it was usually like my mom would be awake, but no one else in the house is awake. So I don't have to worry about anybody needing me or, you know, wanting to talk to me or whatever, because they'd be asleep. And I would have that dedicated writing time before my day even really started. So before anything happened the rest of the day, I've already got like 1,000 words done. So that really helped me. I believe it's Stephen King who sits down at his desk every morning and takes a multivitamin before he starts work. And that's great because you can kind of clip together taking care of your health and writing. So if you are really good at doing one thing, then tacking the other thing on creates that sort of association, right? So I've taken my pill, good, now I'm in the mood to write. Or I want to write, but I got to make sure I take this pill. So I can't write until I've taken my pill. So you just kind of keep the two things together, your health and your writing, and just keep them together to keep yourself on track, I guess. Multivitamin is a good thing because it's the sort of thing you take every day. But if there's another, obviously things like if you have to take medication, that's, you know, you should be taking that. So X daily practice instead of multivitamins for whatever. I guess brushing your teeth. You can't work before you've brushed your teeth. A lot of people, because we writers do work from home, they do suggest that you get dressed as if you're going to work because this is your job. So you treat it like a job. You get up, you get dressed, you sit at your desk, and you do your work for however long you've set aside. Oh dear, there's a writer my mother likes. Oh, he's very famous. Oh, I'm terrible with names, you guys. He has set writing hours, just like a regular job. So from 9 to 5, he's in his office and his family doesn't bother him. I feel like that's a little unrealistic because the reality is you are working from home and, you know, sometimes you need to be available for your family or sometimes you need to do like household stuff. So, yeah, it does sound great to be like, well, if I were working outside the home, these would be my dedicated writing hours, but I mean, it is a different environment, so the expectations, it's a different animal. I do feel like that's a little bit, I don't know what the word is. I'm not sure I want to say entitled, but it is a bit like, I feel like it's a bit of a different situation, but the idea is you have set work times. For instance, I have set work times from 8 to noon is my work time, and then from noon until bedtime is family time, and I'm doing house chores or hanging out with my family or whatever. So, but 8 to noon, those 4 hours every single day, don't bother me. And that seems to be working. We have a good, it doesn't seem too long for me to be unavailable to the rest of the household, and I can actually get a lot done in 4 hours, and I even usually have time to read, which I do consider work because it's not only like market research, but it's, you know, keeping up with what your coworkers essentially are doing, what your colleagues are doing out there in their work. So, and also, I also want to say it was Stephen King who said if you don't read, you don't have the tools to write. So, reading is work. And some of us, there was a while in there where I couldn't write without putting a full face on. Now, I come to you guys with makeup on because I feel like if I'm going to be in front of a camera, I have to give myself the best help that I can. But I think for a lot of people, makeup makes us feel more confident and it makes us feel more like ourselves. Those of us who are happy with the way we put makeup on, or we feel more, whatever mood it is you're trying to invoke with your writing, I think putting that literally on your face can help with that. Also, I firmly believe that makeup is an art, is a creative endeavor. So in a way, you're sort of exercising your creative muscle just in a different way. And if you get into a routine and you get good at it, it's sort of, you can kind of go on autopilot while you're doing your eyes or doing your contour or whatever, and you can let your mind wander. Now, I like to listen to podcasts while I'm doing my makeup, but I have gotten good ideas. Well, thank you. While I've been doing my makeup before. So, Cassandra. You want to say hi to the people? Is that why you were screaming? Nope. Just want to be a butt. That's fine. It's fine. Third thing is self-care. This is also something, I think this kind of goes back to the vitamins, although I consider the vitamins to be more about routine than self-care. But, so I do consider self-care to be a separate thing, but, you know, some of these things can be multiple. Like, I also consider makeup to be self-care because it makes me happy. I like to consider this like a little bit of extra giving to yourself. So, one thing I do is because my hair is very low porosity, which means it doesn't absorb product and moisture very well. When I put a hair mask in, it has to sit for 2 hours, which I'm not doing anything else in those 2 hours. I can't go to the store. I can't really do chores because I don't want my hair sliding around inside the shower cap. So it makes it a really neat sort of bundle of time for me to sit down and write. So, okay, I got my hair mask in, so that's 2 hours that I can just sit and write. So 2 birds with 1 stone. If you're a big fan of the Pomodoro method, that's 25 minutes of concentrated work. That's enough time for a sheet mask. That sort of thing, where you can write and also give yourself a little bit of pampering at the same time. I feel like that also sort of, because it's all that good feeling about, you know, taking care of yourself and having a little bit of luxury, I feel does sort of open some of the pathways a little bit to be like, all right, well, I guess I'll have a little play with my story and see what I can work out. And also, there are certain apps and certain devices, well, I think almost every device that I know of has a speech-to-text function. So this would be a good time to utilize that if your hands aren't free. Like if you're doing something about your hands or nails or whatever, then you might utilize the speech-to-text function to dictate your story while you're doing other stuff for yourself. Cassie, for the love of God, why are you screaming? This is also a good place to put those playlists that you write. Again, some people, like, you might have a dedicated playlist for your story or your character, your situation, whatever, but if you don't need specific music for a specific thing, you might have classical music on or ambient music, something to set the tone to a nice, quiet, relaxing environment where you can let your mind wander and have a think. You might light some candles. I just like the nice scented ones, but I am, like, new agey enough that the Reiki candles really do a lot for me. Now, I'm willing, in the next section I'm going to talk about this, I'm willing to accept that a lot of the effectiveness of those is psychosomatic, but results are results, and I don't care what caused it, as long as, you know, I'm getting results. So, some people like to chew gum, which is fine if that's working for you. Some people like to smoke. I personally am not a smoker, but I can see how certain substances might either, like, calm you down or make you more focused. They say it makes you more focused. It just... certain things do not sit well with me. I just do not react well to them. But if it works for you, it works for you. Whatever you gotta do. If that's what works for you, then go for it. Whatever it takes to open the tap. Now, my last section is superstition and lore. So this is kind of related to when I was talking about candles earlier. Now, in the self-care section, my reference to candles was more about, like, mood lighting and relaxation and scent association, but I did mention the Reiki candles and, like, the crystal charged candles and all that stuff. And I firmly 100% believe in all of that stuff. So that to me falls under religion. For a lot of other people, prayer might work, and I don't mean that in, like, you gotta pray to get your book to write itself. I mean, like, you know, if having a positive relationship with your divinity of choice helps, why not? Why not ask for a little boost from the big guy or gal or local nature spirit, whoever you interact with on a spiritual level? If you feel like that's gonna help, why not, right? Like, isn't that what they're there for? You guys can't see it, but I'm gonna tip this a little bit. First of all, right up there, you see her? That is Calliope. That is the Muse. Head Muse. Calliope. I got her in the Plaka in Athens from an antique bookstore. And then over here, right up there, there it is. That's a little shrine to Caradwen, who is the Welsh, I don't want to say goddess, because Welsh deities work a little bit different than other deities of the ancient world. But anyway, she's a Welsh mythological character, I should say, associated with inspiration and poetry. And she was, for a while, someone I worked with quite closely. That's a whole story for another day if you're interested. But so I do have my personal divinities around my chair where I work, as sort of touchstones to be like, hey, can you give me a little extra something? Because I'm having trouble. So if you gotta do that, if that helps, I see no shame in it. A lot of people have lucky tokens. I used to have a set of rings that would make me feel better if I was wearing them, because things like labradorite inspire me. Things like moonstone are supposed to help creativity. Things like smoky quartz are said to be good for focus and unblocking. So I like to surround myself with things that invoke either associations or feelings of motivation, focus, creativity, unblocking and letting things flow. And because I have trouble just sitting down and doing it, I gotta get settled. And I gotta like like tea leaves I have to uncurl. And I have to be sure that I'm going to have this block of time to do what I need to do at my pace. So that for me is whatever I need to do, be it a hair mask that gives me 2 hours, or boundaries with the people I live with giving me 4 hours, or, you know, the candles, the crystals, the deities, whatever. I need to be like, this is my time. I've got my things. Let's do it. So it can be difficult. It can be difficult to establish those things, but some of us need that, and it really helps once you've got your little touchstones in place to then be able to let it go. Once you got all those things in place, then it's on you. Then you gotta actually sit down and do it. And that's I think it's Neil Gaiman who says that's the easy part and the hard part. So after that, you got to actually write. But so those are some writing rituals. Hopefully I gave you some new ideas, things you hadn't thought of before that might help you. Hopefully I've validated some of your weirder ones if you already have some. If you know somebody who is a writer who is struggling to find time or a writing ritual that works for them, why not show them this video and see if I can help them out too. If you liked it and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that you know when I post new videos, which should be every Wednesday morning at 6 Pacific Standard Time. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.